everyone, it's Chloe from Chloe's Creative Cards and Stamps by Chloe. I thought today I'd do a really quick little tutorial video, the very first one I've ever done, so I hope you like it, to show you how to use the latest Stamps and Dies by Chloe collection. So this one's using the Cherry Blossom Tree, which just launched in January, and it is such a lovely image. It really makes a nice focal feature on your cards. Then by adding all of your sparklicious glitters, look at the bling that you can get on there. It's just fabulous. So I'm going to show you how to create this really quick card. I'm going to let you know what materials you'll need to start with. So if you want to craft along, of course you can do as well. And I would absolutely love to see your makes using any of the Stamps by Chloe products. So if you've got a blog, post your blog links. Or if you're on Facebook as well, we do actually have a Stamps by Chloe Facebook group where you can go on and share all of your makes, and it's lovely to see all of the inspiration on there. So we'll get started. So for this project you're going to need the Stamps by Chloe Cherry Blossom Tree stamp set. So with this stamp set, this is actually my own, so it's very grubby and it does need a wash. For cleaning your stamps I would use washing up liquid, warm soapy water, and leave them to air dry naturally. So in this stamp set you're going to get the Cherry Blossom Tree top, you're also going to get the Cherry Blossom base. So these work together, or you can actually use the tree top as well to create a background, or the tree base will be a fabulous Christmas card as well if you stamped it in silhouette and just added a little bit of glitter onto there. It'd be really pretty. So those two come together in a stamp set. We're then going to use the die. This one's sold separately, but this lines up over the stamp. So if you maybe not into die cutting, you can of course just use the stamps by themselves, or if you like your die cutting, this just takes it to the next level. So we're going to be using those together to create the lovely tree. Then I normally do quite a lot of heat embossing, but for a change on this one I thought we'd use some ink pads. So for the tree top we're going to be using Brilliant's Pearlescent Orchid, which is a really nice kind of pearly pink colour, perfect for cherry blossoms. And then for the tree base we're going to be using the Desert Sand ink pad from Memento. So really pretty colours. And then to bling it all up we're going to be using some of our fabulous sparklicious glitters. So the colours that we're going to be using are Salted Caramel, which is this one here. So I'll bring it in really close so you can see. Look at the bling you've got on there. It is absolutely, it is a beautiful colour. So it's like a cool gold, so it's kind of not too brassy and not too yellow. It's a really lovely colour. So that one's Salted Caramel. This is one of the 8 brand new ones that just launched in January. And then we're also going to be using Bubble Bath. You can tell I really like this one because I've only got half a pot left. But Bubble Bath is a really nice kind of pinky lilac colour, but it's also got an iridescence in there and a kind of blue shimmer too. But because it's transparent, some of the flakes in here, it actually allows a little bit of the colour from underneath to shine through. So it's a little bit of a chameleon really. It's absolutely fabulous though. I love this one so much. So we'll get started. So the actual size of the card that we're going to be making is 6x6. So we're going to just start off by, we'll stamp our Cherry Blossom Tree base first. So just grabbing my white card. So what I've done is I've just taken a piece of white card and I've trimmed this down to 5 3/4 inches square, so that'll sit perfectly on a 6x6 card front. That's one tip I would definitely give you for matting and layering. If you want to get your matting and layering spot on every single time, I would measure it all, to be honest, and just I tend to work in inches, so then you can just go down by 1/4 inch increments and it just makes it so much easier. Okay, so I'm just going to push this in just so you can see what I'm doing. So what I'm doing is just inking the Cherry Blossom Tree base up with lots and lots of light taps all over the image using my ink pad. So you can see we're getting a really nice coverage of ink on there. And we're just going to pull this in. Now I personally like to stamp this way on. I just find it a little bit easier. So we're just going to lean in and then stamp that down into the centre. So I'm stamping it near the base as well, but I am leaving it a little bit off the edge there. Okay. So you want firm even pressure all over the stamp. Then going to lift that off and you can see how that then gives you a lovely crisp image. Okay. We're then going to take our Cherry Blossom Tree top. I'm going to ink this one up. So we're going to ink this using the Brilliant's Pearlescent Orchid. So again, we want lots of light tapping on the ink pad now. And just see I've got a little flake of glitter on there. Just going to push that off with my piercing tool here just to get rid of that. There we go. Right, so just ink this up. So lots and lots of light tapping all over the image. Now our stamps do all start out as clear, but over time they will stain with different inks and things, and that is totally normal. All that means is the stamp's actually kind of absorbing a little bit of the ink, and by absorbing a little bit of the ink, it means it can transfer the ink a lot better onto your paper. So photopolymer has actually been used in the printing industry for years and years, and it's a really fabulous material. So what we are then going to do is place this onto the tree trunk like so, and then we want firm even pressure again all over the image. And then we'll just lift that off, and you can see you've got that lovely crisp clean image there. What we're then going to do is take the die. So for lining this up over the top, because we've used ink and we've just stamped with it coloured ink pads, we can take our die and place it over the top and then run it through the die cutting machine. Now if you wanted to emboss this, what I would recommend is stamp the tree base, pop your die on, run it through your die cutting machine, and then do your embossing over the top. So you'd need to line the stamp up over the top of the die cut. And what that means is, I'll try and do another video to show you this, but what that means is if you embossed it first and popped your die over, run it through the die cutting machine, what happens is the pressure of the die cutting machine pushes some of the embossing powder into the die, and the embossing powder gets stuck in the die, so your die's a bit of a mess. And then what happens is it kind of lifts a little bit off your card. So that's what I would recommend to do. But for this one, we're just going to pop our die over the top like so. So we're just lining this up. So you can take a little bit of time. What I would recommend is as well, it's a little bit hard for me with the camera because I've just got it directly above me. But what I would recommend is if you can stand up and look directly over the image rather than sitting down, you'll get it lined up an awful lot better, because then you're not looking at it from an angle. So just place our tape over there, and then we're going to run this through our die cutting machine. So I'm using a Gemini Junior today. So we've just got our plates there. We're going to pop our plates together like so, and then I'm just going to run through my die cutting machine. So while that's running through, I'll pop the card there for you to have a look at. So just quickly run this through the machine. So really, really easy to do. Our dies will work in Grand Caliber, Big Shot, the Gemini, any manual die cutting machines that you've got at home. The Embosser as well, of course, that's another one, or a Cuttlebug. Okay, so then we're going to lift the die off. So you can see how perfectly that's then cut from the image, okay, and how lovely we've got that lined up. So what I've then done is I've got one that I've already gone ahead and started. And what I've done is I've just pushed all of the little flowers through, and if I hold this up really close, can you see how all of the stamen in the middle are also cut in? So it then gives you this extra dimension. But what makes our dies so special is, because they are partial cut dies, they cut out and stay within the card. So what that means is you're getting all this dimension, but it's really easy to do because you're just doing it in one pass of the die cutting machine. Whereas normally you'd have to stick these flowers on individually. So it just makes it so much easier. So we're going to pop those out of the way for now, and then we're going to use our glue. So the glue that I tend to use is this one here. Just grab it in to show you. So this is the Art Glitter Dries Clear Glue. You can get this on our website, which is chloescreativecards.co.uk. So I use the glue, and I also use the little fine tip with it as well. The fine tip is sold separately, but it's a really fabulous glue. I use it for all sorts. It's great for your glitters because it sticks them really, really well, but it's just fabulous. And because you've got this fine tip, it really means that you can get into all of the detail on the images. So what we're now going to do is just onto the tips of the stamen, we're going to add a little bit of glue, and also into the centres of the cherry blossom, and then we're going to cover these with the salted caramel glitter. So this is really easy to do. We're just adding a tiny dot of glue onto there. Like so. I'll just move that up a little bit so you can see a little bit better there. So you can just work your way around, adding your glue in. And as well, I am quite fast when I do this, but if you maybe not as confident, don't do the whole image at once, just do a little part of it, then you can always come back and do a little bit more. So you could do like half of the image at once, pop your glitter on, and then do the other half if you'd prefer to do it that way. I just tend to go for it, to be honest. So a little bit more glue onto here. So we've just got a couple more to do. Like so. And then we'll just grab some leftover paper we've got here. And we'll take some of the salted caramel glitter. Now you will really see the sparkle now when I sprinkle this over. Okay, it is just amazing. Look at the bling on there. It's just fabulous. So then you can just tap off the excess. And then you can see how you've got all that glitter starting to encapsulate onto the image there. Really, really pretty. And what you can do as well is, if you find that your glitter's sticking a little bit in the background, just get yourself a soft brush. This is a makeup brush that I'm using, and just dust off any excess, like so. Okay, so I'd normally do that when the glue's dry. So I'm going to pop this glitter back into the pot now. So that one's salted caramel in the Sparkalicious. And then we're going to go in now with a little bit of the Bubble Bath. And this is one of my favourite colours. I love this colour so much. It's so pretty. It's like a pinky lilac, but it's got all these iridescent pieces in it. It's just fabulous. So what we're then going to do is I like to just go in and fill in any little gaps really with a little bit of glitter. So we can just go in and add little dots of glue. Like so. Just working round again. And this is very much kind of by eye. You can put on as much as you like. What I would probably recommend that you do at home is start off with a little bit less, and then you can always go back in and add more. But once you've kind of got it on there, it's on there then, isn't it? So that's what I would definitely recommend. Then what I always like to do is, especially with trees, and I do this at Christmas as well, I like to kind of ground them. So you're just going to scribble with your glue, like so at the bottom. And then it just stops the trees from floating. Because you don't really see floating trees normally, do you? And it kind of makes it look like it's just stood in a lovely pile of cherry blossom there. So then you can just see how that's starting to come together now. So what I'm going to do is pop that to one side. And while that's just drying, I'm going to bring in my card blank because I want to show you the next stage of what we're going to do. So what I've got here is I've got a card blank, and I've also got a piece of double-sided adhesive. So what we're going to do with the double-sided adhesive, I'm just going to move this glitter out of the way just so I can show you while I do this, is we're just going to peel the back off, like so. I'm going to place that down onto my counter there. Then I'm going to take my tree and pop it over the top. Now what I want to make sure before I do this is I want to make sure that all of the little petals are pushed right up. They're not going to get caught. It's just worth taking a little bit of time to do that. Normally, if I wasn't demonstrating this, what I would do is I would wait for it to totally dry and then come back and do this bit. But we can show you. So what we're going to do is just work round and just push this down. Like so. So you can see then, hopefully, just see there how we've got the double-sided adhesive underneath. So what we're then going to do is bring our glitter back in. I'm going to use Bubble Bath again. Just going to give it a little shimmy over the image. Then can you see the difference that makes? If I hold that really close. Can you see how then the glitter's encapsulated onto the double-sided adhesive sheet here? So it just adds a little bit more bling to it. This is an optional step. You don't have to do this if you don't want to. I think it looks nice. So there we go. So you can see how the trees all nicely coming together now. So what I would do is I would give this a good tap just to get rid of any excess glitter. And then when it's a little bit more dry, you can take a soft brush. Just brush off any excess that you may have. So all these little stray flecks will kind of come away. I would use a soft, this is like a soft makeup brush that I'm using. That works really well. You can see how pretty that's starting to look there now. Okay, so what we're going to do is pop this glitter back into the pot, and then we'll start to assemble the card. So what I've then got is, somewhere on my desk, my sentiment over here. That's a 6x6 card. Right, so what I would do is pop this onto my 6x6 card blank using some foam pads. Okay, and I've got a little sentiment here, and this is from our 4-petal frame set. So this says, cheers to a wonderful year that has left and another even more beautiful one to come. So these really nice like little verses to add onto your cards. And then to complete, I would just add some little jewels into the corner, and that would then be your finished card. So easy to do, but really pretty using your Stamps by Chloe products. So all of the items that I've used are available from www.chloescreativecards.co.uk, and what I'll do is I'll pop the product links underneath as well. So if you'd like to buy any of the products, of course you can just click on the links and click through to our website. Thank you, bye!